Ooh. Hey, hello. Now, today we are looking at our very first property market web, web webinar. Very first one. And we have our special guest, George. He's a real estate agent and also a baker at the same time. And today we're going to look at how to finance and acquire property in post-COVID-19 world. So if you haven't been to our website, this is our website, Streetwise Education. What we do is not just investing and trading, but we deal with a lot of materials, digital marketing, entrepreneurship, finance, automations, marketing, everything. And there is tons of information on our site, so go have a look at it. But mostly, you got to be aware is that we actually have a academy. So you can actually go and check it out. So we got classes, and this is why you're here today for the COVID-19, okay? So there are many things, and every month we run something special. So today we have a special guest, George, and we're gonna look at the COVID-19, how it affects property. And if you're thinking about investing in the real estate, what you need to do, he's a real estate agent, so just be aware that everything we talk about is educational purpose only. It's not a recommendation to buy, sell, or otherwise, just like everything we talk about. So hopefully that you had a chance to look at the 60 minutes house crisis for August 2019. And the video is quite interesting. And since then, we have our COVID-19 virus, the pandemic, and that really affects the entire market. So without wasting too much time, we will talk more about it. We'll hand it to George. He will talk to you about the market updates, see what is actually happening. Okay, so you should be able to see it. So welcome, George, for coming to our very first property market update. So
Hi, everyone. Hello. Hi.
Yeah, cool.
Thanks for the opportunity, Nathaniel.
No problem. George and I, we both did our master degree about 10, 15 years ago in entrepreneurships. So we've been doing different things over the years and keep building business. George been doing a lot of other things. Real estate is one of his thing he like. So we want to share some experience. So hopefully that you get something out of it. Now, so George, it's all yours.
Okay, thanks, Nathaniel. So what we're looking at after the COVID-19 is the property prices. So it's either we can look at the best or the worst case scenario. Like we can see the property prices can rise, a slight rise before the job keepers, the job seekers, the government supports run out. So we might see a slight property prices increase. But what happens is after that, people will struggle with incomes. The people, most people will haven't got the job back, still unemployed. So we could see the property market could fall after all the supports, the government supports, in financially support finishes. So the property market will slightly fall after all those of the federal government support finishes. The rental market hasn't been stable because of the restrictions. People are staying away. Not as active like in the rental market. Either people are going back home, living with parents, or staying in places with their friends. So, that's how. So after the COVID-19, so we might see some uncertainty in the property market, and also with the unemployment, we can see forced sales of properties. People are unable to pay, making repayments to the bank. So that could have an effect with the property market, and so we can see an up and down in the property prices, and also let's look at the next slide. So So in, just during the pandemic, the COVID-19, we can see more private sales than auctions. The reason is because the restrictions, we couldn't help any auctions. So the more private sales is more, and more happening. But then again, because of the restriction, vendor has decided not to put them probably on the market, and that, so we can see the number of listings has fallen a lot. The number of listings on the market has fallen a lot, and for quite some time we've been using the auction clearance rate as an indicator. So how well is the market doing? But because of the COVID-19, we can't use that, because that doesn't relate to the real time of the market. So I'm not going to talk about the auction clearance rate, although it's pretty good, like 70% in May, like early in May, but that doesn't relate to the real time market. And so hopefully, after all the federal government's financial support finishes, we can actually see the real picture. So that probably later in the year, like in September, we can really see the real picture of the, how well the property market can recover, or like down the track, it could pick up straight away, like in the third quarter of 2020. And yeah, we do hope for the best, for everyone's health, and especially the property market. Yeah. Thanks, Nathaniel. And
okay, so that's the
back to you.
George's PowerPoint. Now we're going to go into look at how do we actually finance it. So this is my part, and I will be taking care of it. So how do you actually finance and acquire property in the post COVID-19? So the question is not so much how is easy, it's what to do first. So that's always a big thing. Now, the first thing you need to really be aware of is your strategy. You need to have some strategy. You need to design your property investment strategy first. So that's why it's good to talk to George, so that you can actually start planning something. So you need to look at the current market. Next steps is look at the current markets and which area you're going to target. So design a strategy, then target the places. Properties is always about, areas, places, locations and all that stuff. So it's important to have those things. And George can actually help you with those ones. Then the next step is to actually find a suburb that is have growth and also stability for the current markets. So in Melbourne, there is a couple growth corridor, and but it's a little bit far away from the city. The infrastructure has been established. Some of them have been built, so that could be a big thing. So George will be able to help you with those things to identify where the market is. Now, the next steps is actually locating best property within the suburb. So you need to be able to go in, check it, go and look at the property. And that's what we'll be doing. What we will be doing is streetwise education. We will have courses that should show you how to look for the best property. And basically it's a trip. We show you how to do it, when to do it, and what you look for. The next step is to inspect the property and work with the real estate agent. So the good thing is we do have a good relationship with real estate agent. So that's why it is important that you work with us to do this. The other part is the finance and property evaluation parts. Now this is a big one. Most people don't think about it. They will buy investment real estate. If you saw the 60 minutes video, a lot of people actually purchase houses, but the value dropped 30–40%, and they can't finance it. And the bank now saying that the finance only interest only loan, they can call it when they like it. So some of the strategy may not work. So we need to think, differently when we do go ahead with financing, if that makes sense. And the valuation part, it will be very different. So that's one key area that we actually excel at. Okay. Now the other thing is negotiation for the best price. Now it's not everyone like negotiating, and the good thing is that we do know how to go about doing it. And we do have mutual relationship with our vendors and our buyers. And that's important so that we can negotiate a bit better. We know how things work, and that's the good thing. The other thing is we're going to hold your hand. And what the other steps you need to do is we're going to hold your hand for the settlement process. It is actually quite daunting if you do it the first time, but as we go through it with you, it's much easier. The other thing is we will introduce your team to our team of experts on finance, legal, our accountants, so that way you know how to protect your assets. I mean, buying investment property is a great thing, but the thing is, how do you protect it? How do you pass on to your the next generation or to the right people that you want to pass on to and protect it so that you don't get sued? So that's a big thing, So that's why we will introduce our expert. Now, the next 3 step is about how do we ensure that you can rent the property out. So some of the things we will do, especially the strategy, is to help you to update certain things to make it more appealing. So it's guaranteed, or not guaranteed, the best chance to get rented out. So because without it, it's hard to finance your property. And of course, we will show you how to maximize the return. This is really important, how to use the tax and deduction to your advantage. And of course, the other step that you need to do, especially strategy-wise, we do review for your portfolio and every year. So that way, you are not just set and forget, you look at other places you can reinvest. Part of the whole purpose of all this strategy is to help you to purchase, another property so that you build a nest egg. So, and that's important. And I think George agree with that too. So, as minimum couple of years, you should have, 3-4 properties, but do it correctly with the right finance is important. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the next step is the actual financial side. So now there are 3 methods of financing. We have the traditional financing, which is you go to the bank. We can do alternative financing or creative financing. So I'm just showing you some of those simple ideas, nothing too crazy. But when you sit down with us and actually go through and do more work with us, or even do the courses with us, I'll show you all the steps and the strategies, how to finance something. So it's just a matter of how you think about a certain way of doing things. Okay, so let's have a look at it. Now, the traditional finance is, you go to the bank, you borrow money, you set up an interest-only loan linked to offset loan. Now, usually that works, but with the COVID-19 and the property market's been going a bit funny, it's better to reconsider the interest-only strategy. So that's really important, and that's why I'll put it here because that's what usually the bank will offer you if you're investing in a property, because for the tax deduction and everything else. So, but I will look at that a little bit more cautiously, especially if you saw the 60-minute video. Okay, so just in case, I'll just put it there. With the traditional finance, you can actually do some work on how to control your cash flow, taking advantage of the tax deduction. And with all that extra equity that you build, you can buy another property. So you can pay down debts when you're close to retirement, sell a couple of properties. So that's what usually happens. So this is nothing new. It's been going on for last, I think as long as people have been investing in real estate. So that's the traditional finance. Now, the next one is the creative finance. So what you can do is using your super fund to buy property. So that's a way to do it. And there is a lot more fiddly things you have to do. And that's why we suggest you work with us so that we can help you with, leverage off our expert. So save you some time because super fund self-managed super fund is a lot of work and you have to get up to date with the law and also the changes in tax. So, but this is another way to do it. You can actually purchase real estate using a super fund. So just be aware of it. We will talk more about it in our courses. Now, the final one is called alternative financing. Now, this is a little bit different. So let's say you can finance or buy a house, we can use crowdfunding to do it. So that's a new way of doing things, but I will tell you more about it as we go into it. So crowdfunding is one of the alternative finance. The other one is sell shares in the company to finance a property. Now, most people don't think in that way. Just think of it as more like a unit trust. So you can actually still acquire things. So it's just a very different way of doing it. I know it's a bit odd. There's like 100 odd alternative finance strategy you can do for property. So, and in our courses, we cover those things. The other one that is quite popular is actually buy from the owner and set up a alternative repayment plan. So I have seen a couple of those one and done some work on it for people who actually want to sell, but it's not in the right market, so they agree on a good price, especially like COVID-19 happening. If you go on the market to sell, it may not be able to sell, straight away. And also, part of the reason why the owner want to do it this way is that they want cash flow and they want the off. They can still get the cash, but they don't have to, do it another way. But I'll go into more details when we cover our courses. But they are just some of the simple alternative finance strategy you can actually use to buy a property in Australia. You can actually apply this across the world. So yeah, just saying that. What do you think, George? Do you think we got better other strategy we can do?
I'm pretty happy with your presentation, Nathaniel. So I've learned something new as well. Yeah, so I quite enjoy your presentation, and yeah, I will look at the the traditional ways of lending is just like, depending on the individual, that could be like higher risk. So that's how I see it. The interest only loans.
Yes. At the moment, I
Yeah.
mean, so let's go back to the three methods quickly. The traditional finance, and that's what they usually say about the interest only, and it works, when everything's okay. But now
That's right. Yeah.
the market dynamics change. So can we still use the interest only loan? Is another question, another story. So I know people say don't get the interest and principal loans. First of all, because it's investment, you can't claim the principal part. But in this market, having a principal and interest is a bit smarter. But again, it has to look at your financial situation and where you are.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So, pretty much. So that's a couple of things, But you can really invest in property if you work it out. There is ways to own a house. It's just a matter of how you get there. I mean, there is a lot of courses out there. They do those things, but it's a matter of what you do. I mean, again, we don't have a salesperson trying to force you to sign a course outside the door. So there's nothing like this. But we do it our way. Pretty much we do investing, buying property because it's a way to build an asset. So, and we don't have a high pressure salespeople to sell you. That's what we do. So that's
so all we wanted to do is just to help you to find the right properties, the right finance package. We're just here to help. To try to educate, try to help you educate, just not straight education, but to help you educate, what's the right move to take for your next step, like either investment properties or, so we are here to help, we don't do it for, to make up the sales quotas. Like we're not here to sell anything, we just want to help,
I mean, we're taking a different approach for normal sales. I mean, most property, real estate agent, they sell property, they make profits. That's how they do it, listing things and all that. But so the way we're doing it is actually for creating wealth. So, we don't sell a property because we sell a property for the company's part. We want you to keep buying it, real estate. So, and we do it differently. So we're more like a buyer's advocate type business, isn't it? Pretty much. And apart from that, we actually have courses that we run on streetwise education. Like I said, we are streetwise, not about teaching you something that doesn't work or doing property options. So there's a couple of those courses out there that teach you property options. We don't do those things because it's very different. In Australia is still very new to it. I mean, and they don't understand the concept. In America, it's a big thing, but not in Australia. So just be aware if someone's pitching you those things. I mean, have a go at it first. Buy a outer suburbs. Buy a property somewhere. Have a go. So that's really the first steps, and then use different finance strategies. I mean, there's more than one. So if someone lock you back and say, hey, you can't get a loan on certain things, work it out. There are other ways to finance. It's just a matter of whether you think outside the box, or you just, take no for an answer. So pretty much. So yeah. So, but hey, George, what do you think about the after the September? I mean, I heard from the government they may extend this job keeper and also supporting the business. Today on ABC or the not Boomerang, Business Weekly News was talking about the couple retailers already gone bust today. So
yeah, so I mean, to be honest, anything can happen. Like, government could extend it the support, or could something new might come out, people to help people. Some people might be still struggling. So on the news last night was saying some restaurant might not be able to open back. All of the restrictions easing, but but
so
we have to see. Yeah, we have to see what the Australian government is willing to help, the publics.
Yeah. So just sharing with, because with George, this is the today's news for the Business Insider, the 29th of May. So 7 in 10 Australian business has seen revenue loss due to coronavirus. So, we know that, everybody knows that. But the thing is, they were talking also about the, what was it, Reserve Bank. This is a big one. Reserve Bank have warned that hundreds of thousands of Australians' job could go out, could be out of work if they don't keep the job keepers. So that's a big one. So this is on Business Insider. It's 29th of May, 28th of May, 2020. So this is basically what's happening in the market. So this is real. The Prime Minister was talking about it's how they will restart the economy. So, but it takes a lot of efforts to restart. Again, matter of how they manage the risks as always. So, but what else is there really important? There was another one that I really want to share with you, George, because I think, when we talk about things online, we can discuss quite a bit of things. There was one big one, especially with the opening, people going back to work and also going to inspection as such.
Yeah, that's right, yes.
A couple important things that is going to be interesting. So this is a chart for coronavirus recovery. So data, because if people don't have jobs, they can go to the bank to borrow money, simple as that. So all this will affect the economy. So this is one of the biggest things. Financing is one thing, but if people don't have jobs, it's going to be challenging. So this is the movement of change over time for COVID-19. So it's actually going back up slightly. So that's going to be issue. I was trying to find a graph for you so that we can have a discussion. So there was a couple of things that, this is the one. This is the number that you should be watching. So if we going back, and so this one is about the COVID number to watch. At the moment, we're sitting at 0.9. So anything above 1 is bad. The lowest we had was 0.87. Highest is 1.28. So as the economies start opening back up, this number will be important to watch and to see what's going on. So yes, financing property can be done, but the question is what you're going to invest and all that stuff. I mean, I do see the east probability and possibility the market will drop. There will be, I think Reserve Bank was talking about 10%, the simple case, the best case, the worst case from Commonwealth Bank. That was part of this is part of it, what they said, research. The worst could be 32% and it's not going to recover until 2025. So we're talking about 5 years in a negative market, but the stock market been going up. So, there is a discontinuations between the stock market and the main street. So that was it's quite scary actually, if you think about it. So yeah, so that's what's happening. But, as I said, we have a course coming up, and it's all about investing in real estate, especially after COVID-19. And also we have courses actually for overseas. If you're interested, jump on the site. We do have another free webinar for financing in property. And also don't forget to sign up, just come on and sign up, sign up to become part of the Streetwise education. Because we do posting all the time on different things, on different topics. So, it's good to be keep informed with what's happening. So yeah, so don't forget to go here. So, if you want this, just go have a look at it. So we got a post COVID-19 one. So that's a good one. The other one we're doing very soon is we are actually doing a June macro market live. So this is about macro markets, or marketing opportunity where you can invest from stock market to fee markets, basically. So, we always find values in things. And also we have other courses. So there are many courses coming up, and one of them is property markets. Which is going to be important to keep an eye on. So yes, so market is going to be fun, and just matter of what you want to do. So George, I hope you enjoyed today's. Thank you for coming. I mean, it's always good to have you. And
thank you so much for having me.
Yes, and I will talk to you very soon. And thank you for everyone for signing in today to watch the video. And I look forward to see you very soon. Don't forget to sign up for the newsletters and go to the website and check it out. This video will be posted later today, and everyone can see this, okay? So I'll see you later. Thank you, George.
Stay safe. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Section.
Okay, cool.
停咗啦。
未得。
未得。我睇唔到自己。
Sorry.